Today we're going to focus on an interview with a Jewish rabbi whose name is Avi Lipkin. He had written a book. The title of the book is, you won't believe it, Return to Mecca. The Jews wish to return to Mecca? Well, usually we know that they wish to return to Jerusalem, Al-Quds. That's their wish. No. But there is something that not everything the Jews reveal. No. Not everything they plan is in the scriptures, which they call it today the Torah. No. But this is a fact. This man, Avi Lipkin, he has a book. The title of the book is Return to Mecca. Well, nobody will believe that the Shia are involved in this great service, not to Islam, no, a great service to the Jews. They are, in a matter of fact, messing the whole Muslim world, especially the surrounding countries around Israel. For what is called the Arabian Spring, it is not spring on us. It is spring on the Jews. And the Shia are working for this. So, the book Return to Mecca, it talks about the prophecies and the dreams that the Jews have to return to Mecca, believing that that what had been called before Sinai is in fact Saudi Arabia. See how the Jews can twist names and geographies due to their desire and ambitions. So Sinai used to be something else, but today it became Mecca. And the Jews had their dream to go there. So let's make you hearing some of those clips. There was an interview with this man, the author of this book, The Return to Mecca, Avi Lipkin. Let's watch some clips, parts of this video, and then we make some more comments.
Well, hello again. Gary Stearman, time for another edition of Prophecy in the News. Today we've got a tremendous program for you. Avi Lipkin is here from Israel, and he's brought his brand new book. It's called Return to Mecca. This is going to be a great program.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be a great program to see what the Jews are up to. What are their plans? Their plans must be consistent in this book. So let's see what they have.
Well, it's my pleasure to welcome Avi Lipkin back to Oklahoma City, back to Prophecy in the News. Avi, it's always fun when you're here.
Love to be here.
And today, it's not only going to be fun, but we're going to get serious because you've brought your new book. It's called Return to Mecca. And the topic of this book is absolutely revolutionary and has a lot to do with Bible prophecy, both from the perspective of the Jews and the Christians. And that's why we've invited him here. Avi is a Jew speaking on behalf of Judaism, and he's presenting a message that I think you need to hear. He wants his own people to hear this message. Isn't that right, Avi?
Very correct. And by the way, my people, forgive me for being arrogant, are the Jews and the Christians together.
Thank you for saying that.
Yes.
And by the way, I've known Avi for enough years to know that he has tremendous affection among Christians all over the United States. And my little church assembly included among those, because we always remember the time you came. And Avi always has something new and interesting to talk about. And today, and the title of this book, Return to Mecca, what could that possibly mean? And on the cover is a picture of a black cube. That's where the story starts. Avi, let's start right there.
Yes. I believe that the Bible is a GPS. I believe that the Bible took place, a lot of it took place in Arabia. There are certain Christians like the Caldwells, Jim and Penny, who spent 14 years in Arabia, and many Christians, not only they, Leonard Moeller, Dr. Kim from Korea, Ron Wyatt, and Bob Tornyuk, there are a lot of people. Actually, in most churches, Christians say to me, we know that Mount Sinai, the real Mount Sinai, is not in the Sinai Peninsula, but rather in northwest Saudi Arabia. It's called Jebel al-Lawz.
Jebel al-Lawz, the mountain of laws. Wait a minute. So you're intending to go to Mecca, but you're not taking Mecca as the direction of your prayer. Interesting. Why don't you direct Mecca in your prayer? Why do you have to stand before the wall and make your prayers there like this? If your dream is to return to Mecca, take the direction to Mecca in your prayer. No, they won't. Okay. Oh, at least, okay. Follow this messenger who came from Mecca. He is from Mecca. No, he's a camel rider. He's a camel rider. Can you imagine? That's disgusting. Riding a camel, and he wants us to follow him. Well, you have to put the blame on the British people, because it took long with them to invent Rolls-Royce. They should have invented it at the time of Muhammad, so he won't be needing any camel. He'll be riding a Rolls-Royce. I mean, don't put the blame on people at that time, because even the scriptures tell us, the New Testament, that Jesus said to one of his disciples, call this man, speak to this man, and tell him that the Lord needs two donkeys to ride. 2 donkeys. The Lord God needs donkey to ride on. It's normal for Muhammad to ride a camel, but it's not normal for God to ride a donkey. God rides a donkey, and he needs to ride a donkey. Forget about this. We're not going to drift you. I mean, I know my problem is drifting in my speeches, and I have to avoid this. But anyway, sometimes we find it important to bring things in. So let's get back to the topic. So Sinai is Mecca. Sinai is Saudi Arabia. But who deserves to be the people of Mecca? Those who obey the messenger that was born in Mecca, and his proclamation of his message started from Mecca. Why don't you obey him? Well, the Quran says, is it true that whenever a messenger comes to you, O people of the Jews, by things that do not suit your desires, a group of prophets you kill, other groups of the prophets you charge with lie, and you want to return to Mecca? So, that's what the man said. There's something aggressive with this man. He said, Allah, in fact, is Satan. That's not our God. Allah is Satan. Allah hates the Jews and the Christians. Allah.
Who is God and who is Satan? And Satan is Allah. And I have a 3-year jail sentence in Switzerland for saying it, but Satan is Allah. All the attributes of the Islamic system are the opposite of the Judeo-Christian system. Our God is a God of creation. Allah is a God of destruction. Allah is known as Al-Makr. Al-Makr in Arabic means Allah is the greatest of all the liars and deceivers. And one of the virtues in Islam is to be a liar. It's called taqiyya, means you're commanded to lie to the infidel.
Who lie in the cause of Allah.
Of Allah. Yeah.
Well, Allah hates the false. And when people say that God is three in one, do you want Allah to say, oh my blessed people, it's okay, even if you set up partners with me, I still love you? And I'm still preparing paradise for you. Even if you're pagans, even if you say Father and Son and the Holy Ghost, and to the Jews for sure, oh Jews, even if you killed my son, my beloved son, even if you killed him, I still love you. I should not be hating you. No. Well, I'm afraid someday you're going to say to us, God must love Satan the devil. Because we share with him the common term of being created by God. So we should love the devil. Because we are all created. We are the creation of God. So we have to love one another. And Christians should love the Jews as well. Why? Well, it is true that they killed their God. The Jews killed the God of the Christians, who's the Son of God. But yet, still, the Christians must believe that those are the chosen people of God. They occupy countries and territories, claiming that God said, look, what you see is what you get. The land you see, it's my promise to you. Wherever you go, wherever you go, if you see a land, that's yours. East, west, south, north, whatever you see, it's yours. Because I love you. And I made nations to be servants to you because I love you. But they're the killer of your sons. Astaghfirullah, we don't believe it. Oh, still I love them. Even if they killed my son, I love them. Christians are supposed to be retaliating for Jesus against the Jews. No, we love the Jews. Oh, in fact, we may not love them, but economically, they are a good factor. They are very clever people. And economically, they're great. They make a lot of money. And they have big economical lobby. The supposedly enemies, now they're becoming friends. What really combines them together? God? No. Mutual, lively, objective interest. So, let's see now, after this declaration given by this rabbi, that Sinai, in a matter of fact, is Saudi Arabia. So let's see, what are they up to? And don't forget, he is the representative of the Jews. He's one of the Jews, and he speaks on behalf of the Jews. Let's see.
I believe that the Bible is a GPS.
The Torah is GPS. You got it? The Torah is the GPS. So they're following the GPS. They're applying the contents of this GPS. GPS is telling them, go north, the land is yours. Go south, the land is yours. This is the GPS. Wow. What should we be calling this GPS? Jewish GPS. Yeah. Okay. Let's continue.
Jethro, the high priest of Midian, I believe is the high priest of the Kaaba, the black stone, which is...
Oh my God. Oh my God. The person of Midian, I think they're talking about the one whom Moses met with and he married his daughter. I think so. So that person was the, what do we call it? A keeper, a guardian of the black stone. So why do you say we worship the black stone? So it has something holy with you. Well, regarding the black stone, okay, you should not claim that we worship it, at least until you see us worshiping it, speaking to it. But wait a minute. Omar spoke to the black stone, didn't he? Yes. What did he say? He said, I know, O black stone, that you are mere stone, that neither benefit nor harms. But haven't I seen the prophet doing this, I would have not done it. It means kissing the black stone. Kissing is worship? Why, wait a minute. You kiss your scriptures, you put it like this and kiss it. Doesn't mean you worship it. I'm not going to talk about kissing your wife. That means you worship your... No. But at least, I mean, Christians kiss the cross. The Jews kiss the scripture. Well, they kiss the holy wall, don't they? Do they worship the wall? I leave it now. I'm not going to drift, as I promised you not to do. Let's continue. But what is interesting, that the great man whom Moses met with is the guardian of the black stone there. So now you can see that the Jews have something to do with Mecca. Let's go on.
Jethro, the high priest of Midian, I believe was the high priest of the Kaaba, the black stone, which is today in Mecca. There was no Mecca. It was just a black stone in those days. Moses was the son-in-law of Jethro. Moses was the understudy of Jethro for 40 years. And when Moses went to take the children of Israel out of slavery, he gave them the phylacteries, which they are to put on their forehead and on their left arm, as a sign from God that we are leaving the pyramid system of slavery in Egypt, and we're going to the cube system of freedom in Arabia.
Makkah is mentioned in the book of Isaiah, chapter 8, I think, verse 45. How beloved are those people who dwell in Mecca, who dwell in the valley of Mecca. And the word Mecca and Mecca are the same. And the word Mecca is mentioned in the Quran, addressing Mecca. So the guys are making preparation to go to Mecca, but don't take the direction of Mecca for your prayer. No, that's paganism. But Mecca is a holy place, and the black stone is a holy stone for the Jews. Look, he's saying there was nothing called Mecca. There was a black stone. So they call it the cube system. Cube system, that means Mecca should be totally covered by black. That's how it used to be. What do you have to do with this? I mean, what to put black garment or green garment? What do you have to do with that? That's not your business. No, Mecca belongs to us. And our return is there. Don't forget the title of the book. Return to Mecca. Interesting. Let's continue. This is new thing, interesting to hear about from this rabbi. Let's see what he has more.
So the purpose of this book is to show where exactly we were, and that 38 years at least of the Exodus was in Arabia. Moses, Aaron, Jethro were at the Kaaba, which is today Mecca. And when God says in Deuteronomy 11 that the borders of Israel will include the desert to the south, that desert is Arabia.
Oh, so that means Moses used to be riding the camel. Jethro used to be riding the camel, because they were at the black stone there. The prophets, Moses, Aaron, etc., they used to be there at this place.
Right.
And right on the edge of the Saudi Arabian desert, if you look at a map. And so that's where the children of Israel lodged, at the foot of Mount Horeb.
Very correct. And by the way, in Deuteronomy 2 verse 2, God says to the Israelites, or to Moses, to the Israelites, enough being encamped around this mountain, turn northward, meaning we were southward. Turn northward to the land of the Amorites, which I have promised you. Now, again, one of the problems here is when we're looking at the final borders of Israel as promised by God, The border is safe from the Mediterranean to the Euphrates and from Lebanon to the desert. So what's the desert? The desert is not the Negev. The Negev was the tribe of Judah. The desert is not Sinai Peninsula. That was Pharaonic Egypt. The desert had to have been Saudi Arabia.
Now we can tell how holy is this place, not to the Muslims only, but the Jews share with them the holiness of this place. Let's continue to see what treasures this book contains.
So Moses, when he had to flee Egypt after he killed the taskmaster who was beating the Jewish slave, the Israelite slave, he knew where he was going. He knew the geography. He was almost Pharaoh, so he had to know the geography. So he took the Israelites through the desert to what is today Nuweiba, on the eastern shore of the Red Sea of Sinai. That is where they crossed. By the way, King Solomon set up pillars, columns, on the two opposite sides of the coast where the Israelites crossed. The Saudis destroyed one of them and threw it into the sea. And that area is forbidden for foreigners to go swimming. Anyone who goes swimming there will be shot. So the Saudi army is there, making sure nobody gets near that pillar.
So, what is that desert? The desert is Saudi Arabia. So now, the boundaries, the limits of the Jewish Israelite state begins from Lebanon, passing by Syria, then to Saudi Arabia. Wow, a great Israelite state. And that's your place, O Israel, my childish, my spoiled, my private, my beloved sons, special chosen people whom I have chosen for myself because I love you, O people of Israel. Interesting. So that means all of this riots and revolutions are going in agenda for the favor of the Jews who are establishing, making preparation, checking, detecting every single action in Syria. Sometimes they have to launch some jet attacks. They're trying to set the balances. And the Shia were great help for them in this. They are destroying the entire Syria. It is a systematic cleansing for the future. Sunni countries, regions are not appropriate for the future of the Jews. The Shia can do, yes. Shia can say, death to America, death to Israel. But in matter of fact, the death is to the Sunni people for the sake of America, for the sake of Israel. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. There are many scandals nowadays. Deals, American-Iranian deals before the falling of Iraq. Before. There are scandals today about that. Iranian-American deals and mutual contribution, cooperation with Al-Hashd Al-Sha'bi, the sectarian militia who came from Iran and under the leadership of Qasem Soleimani. He's terrorist by the Americans, yes, but there's a cooperation between, that's why when Nimr got killed, the priests were consoling the Shia for the death of Nimr.
We would like to offer you our sincere condolences for the unjust killing of Imam Nimr in Saudi Arabia yesterday. And we recognize that with the best of intentions in 2003, we Americans brought disaster.
When Hadi al-Amiri was launching his attacks against the Sunni regions in Iraq. A cross was put on his head. And condolences were given to him for the death of his soldiers, shuhada soldiers in Iraq. God, oh my God, what's going on in this world? Aren't the sectarian Shiites supposed to be enemies to the Americans? Aren't the Americans trying to cleanse the whole area from sectarianism, from extremism? Yeah, but this is the American style. You know the American way about how to cleanse the places, how to, just like what they did with the Red Indians, just like what they did in Japan, in Vietnam. They have their own way. It may cost a lot of souls, casualties, but it's okay. This is American project, And the Shia are going against it? No. Side by side, they're cooperating. They have established sectarianism, extremism, collecting all of those prisoners in Abu Ghraib prison and the prisons of Syria, preparing those people and then releasing them to establish Daesh. And then Americans and Iranians are going to work on what? Cleansing the cities from Daesh. Nouri al-Maliki is accused by the Iraqis that he deliberately released the Daesh prisoners, and that deliberately he was giving orders to the Iraqi army to leave everything, even with equipment, just leave and go. And Daesh had got these spoils of war, and now they have their own state, and now they are cleansing the Iraqi cities from Sunni existence. Believe it or not, that's what's happening. And all go for the favor of the Jews. Now you may say, those people are making, they are committing big crimes. They're worse than the Jews. Now don't worry. As long as the Jews find someone, foolish people, who will be doing their job, the job on their behalf. So don't expect the Jews to do anything by their hands, unless there's no more solution. For the period of time, they're using the Americans and the Allies, to cleanse. I'm not with Daesh. No. I know. Well, by the way, I'm threatened by them, and they have a fatwa, verdict. Shedding my blood is halal. So please don't ever think that I'm speaking for the favor and for the side of Daesh. No. But what I see is that this conspiracy is ever worse than Daesh. Is ever worse. Because this is a huge, gigantic kind of conspiracy. And by this, they are kindling fire in the all surrounding regions around Israel. That's what's happening. Let's continue. See what the man got. Let's see what the man got. All right. Go ahead, Mr. Avi.
The desert is not Sinai Peninsula. That was Pharaonic Egypt. The desert had to have been Saudi Arabia.
Desert had to have been Saudi Arabia. Now, here it gets interesting.
Oh, the wandering of the people of Israel for 40 years as a punishment from God. That was in Saudi Arabia. See? You have to know. You have to learn. You have to know about the Jewish GPS. Okay? Forget about TomTom GPS. Okay? You have to focus on the Jewish GPS. So the wandering of the Jews for 40 years was in Saudi Arabia, any matter of fact. All right, let's continue.
And this is quite fascinating because it opens the subject that we'll be dealing with in this book, Return to Mecca.
Yes, it's fascinating because it will draw the attention of the Jewish people that, wait a minute, that's a plan, and we are making preparation. We are refurbishing the whole area around Israel, refurbishing the whole area, making it ready for the Jewish Israelite state to lead the whole world from that place, which its borders are from Lebanon to Saudi Arabia.
Well, I believe that the Arab Spring, which a year ago just started, it has spread from Tunisia to Libya to Egypt to Yemen. It's now in the middle of its process in Syria. I believe there are signs already in Jordan. I believe that the Arab Spring will come to Saudi Arabia. When it comes to Saudi Arabia, there will be such a civil war in Saudi Arabia, and it'll be Shiites versus Sunnis. It'll be Sunnis versus Sunnis. It's going to be Osama bin Laden Saudis versus the more secular Saudi, not secular, the ones who believe in cooperating with the West. And what's going to happen is, I believe those that are cooperating with the West are going to send out an SOS to the United States, come and save us. And the United States is going to say to Israel, you're going to have to help us on this one. So why don't we occupy certain parts of Saudi Arabia? And why doesn't Israel occupy certain parts of Saudi Arabia to save these Saudis who are going to be wiped out by the other Saudis or the Iranians, whoever? And when we take Mecca and Medina, I believe the borders of Israel will go down from Lebanon all the way to Mecca and Medina. There will be more Christians also moving to Israel who are married to us, who are part of our families. I believe that the borders will go, according to Deuteronomy 11, from the Nile to the Euphrates and from Lebanon to Saudi. And so return to Mecca means this is the biblical roots for why this is about to happen.
So, hey, Saudi Arabia, you're in a big danger. You should know what's going on. You're surrounded by the Yemenis. That's why we find the West is biased to the Houthis. We see that the United Nations is trying to bring anything against Saudi Arabia. A couple of days ago, they put them on the blacklist. Then they had to remove them from the blacklist. And they used Houthis to give them reports against what's going on in Mashallah. And they dealt with one of the Houthis to be the minister of exterior. Mashallah. Gangs. The United Nations are dealing with those gangs as if they are ministers. Credible. Authenticated. Believed. Regarding any claim, any alleged reports against Saudi Arabia. Isn't this amazing? We can, in many times we can see there are many complaints against the United Nations that it is biased to the Houthis. So what's going on? You have to understand the policy. It's a Jewish kind of influence. Let's go on.
This book, Return to Mecca. Yes, and indeed, even when we read the Bible, when we read, for example, the book of Exodus, and God is describing the instructions of how to make the Ark of the Covenant and the tent of the meeting, and the boards, the wooden boards that were used, they say north is north, east is east, Kedma, right. South is Yemen, facing towards Yemen. And westward, facing towards the Red Sea, Yama. Mm-hmm. So what it means is, if the sea is to your Red Sea is to your back and Yemen is to your right, then you're in Saudi Arabia. Yeah.
So now you have to know that this is the place in Saudi Arabia. So this is a Jewish dream to return to Mecca. Just like the way we see Hezbollah controlling the joints, the political joints of the Lebanese government. Likewise is the matter of the Jews, who are influential, have their own controls over the political global joints. Not only America, but even Russia. That's why now, because this FSA, if I'm not wrong, the rebels against Bashar al-Assad, they couldn't be defeated. Despite Iranians who are bringing mercenaries from Afghanistan, from Pakistan, all over. They failed. The Syrian regime really is blessed with a lot of support, global support. We were saying, at least, Western people, America, give the Syrian embassies to those opponents against the Syrian regime as a sign, as indication of good intentions. No. Even the Lebanese regime must be going for the favor of the Syrian government of Bashar al-Assad. So, after what we see, we're not amazed to see the silence of the world as regards to the genocides of Bashar al-Assad and the genocide of the Iranians. We're not amazed anymore when we see the messing of Iran in the whole region. Iraq, Yemen, Syria, Bahrain, everywhere. We're not amazed when we see the paralyzed politicians in Lebanon, to the extent that Hezbollah is holding the Lebanese governors from having any president. Wait. You know what I feel now? That Haider al-Abadi, the Iraqi president, is not going to last long. No. Iraq is prepared to have Ayatollah leader. You will see, time by time. Now they're using Haider al-Abadi, then they're going to kick him out. As you can see, Muqtada al-Sadr is making a big revolutionary against Haider al-Abadi. But time by time, just wait. Get rid of the Sunni regions now. Regions. Get rid of the Syrian regions. The Sunni regions. Again, get rid of these Sunni regions in Iraq. Okay? Next step, have Ayatollah leader for Iraq. And forget about Iraq, that it used to be led by people like Saddam Hussein. No, finish. It's going to be Ayatollah Iraq. Just like Iran is Ayatollah Iran. So Iraq is going to be Ayatollah. America has no problem with them. They look like religious people, but they're the enemies of Islam, while they are wearing the so-called turban of Islam. These are the justifications, slogans, false slogans. But in a matter of fact, the Shia are cooperating, good cooperators, with the Americans for the favor of the Jews. You know, they say that God has a son. In a matter of fact, the son of America is Israel. The beloved, chosen children for America are the Jews. We're not amazed to see the failure of the international court regarding the death of Rafiq Hariri. Is frustrated, has no power to demand the killers of Rafiq Hariri, who are, staying in the south suburb of Beirut, No one can say anything. No influence can be exerted against the Lebanese government to bring those people and hand them over to the court. No way. Why? It's a fact that Hezbollah is a religious, so-called Muslim organization for the favor of the Jews. Iran and the Shia are one agenda. Iran and the Shia are one agenda to apply the Jewish prophecy to return Saudi Arabia. They want to return to Saudi Arabia, but first they have to return Saudi Arabia. So it's not going to be a Saudi anymore. No. That's the plan. Well, God says they plan, and Allah too plans. But the best planner among those who plan is Allah. Let's continue to see what this Jewish rabbi has to say to tell us.
But the point I'm saying is, getting back to Mecca and Medina, this is an Elijah moment. We are now playing a game that all American kids know. It's called Capture the Flag.
Oh, yes.
The Muslims want Jerusalem not because Jerusalem is holy for them, which it is not. Jerusalem is not holy for the Muslims. It is not in the Quran. The importance of Jerusalem is to deny it to the Jews and the Christians. And so if they get Jerusalem, their system wins. Now, my contention through my book is, if we Judeo-Christians get Mecca and Medina, then we capture the flag, and it is the termination of Allah, who I say is Satan, and sending the devil to the pits of hell for 1,000 years. So this is a victory for the human race if we get Mecca and Medina. And we will get Mecca and Medina because I believe the Arab Spring, which has totally overturned all these regimes in the Middle East, will reach Jordan, will reach Saudi Arabia, and the day will come that even certain Saudis will beg Israel to come in and save them from the other Saudis who want to kill them. And we're going to get Mecca and Medina. Well, I believe that the Arab Spring, which a year ago just started, it has spread from Tunisia to Libya to Egypt to Yemen. It's now in the middle of its process in Syria. I believe there are signs already in Jordan. I believe that the Arab Spring will come to Saudi Arabia. When it comes to Saudi Arabia, there will be such a civil war in Saudi Arabia, and it'll be Shiites versus Sunnis. It'll be Sunnis versus Sunnis. It's going to be Osama bin Laden Saudis versus the more secular Saudi, not secular, the ones who believe in cooperating with the West. And what's going to happen is, I believe those that are cooperating with the West are going to send out an SOS to the United States, come and save us. And the United States is going to say to Israel, you're going to have to help us on this one. So why don't we occupy certain parts of Saudi Arabia, and why doesn't Israel occupy certain parts of Saudi Arabia to save these Saudis who are going to be wiped out by the other Saudis or the Iranians, whoever? And so what I see happening here is a political trend. And what I'm doing in my book is to give the biblical reasons why it makes sense. Return to Mecca means the return of the Israelites to Mecca, Medina, and Mount Sinai. And, again, I know there are many Jews and Christians who don't like what I say, but I lump the Jews and the Christians together as one people. And when we take Mecca and Medina, I believe the borders of Israel will go down from Lebanon all the way to Mecca and Medina. There will be more Christians also moving to Israel who are married to us, who are part of our families. I believe that the borders will go, according to Deuteronomy 11, from the Nile to the Euphrates and from Lebanon to Saudi. And so return to Mecca means this is the biblical roots for why this is about to happen.
Oh, they capture the flag if they occupy Saudi Arabia. He's very clear. He's making a clear point. There's a dream, American Israelite dream, to capture Saudi Arabia. That's what he said. Let's continue.
And sending the devil to the pits of hell for 1,000 years. So this is a victory for the human race if we get Mecca and Medina. And we will get Mecca and Medina because I believe the Arab Spring, which has totally overturned all these regimes in the Middle East, will reach Jordan, will reach Saudi Arabia, and the day will come that even certain Saudis will beg Israel to come in and save them from the other Saudis who want to kill them. And we're going to get Mecca and Medina. And Moses is leading the children of Israel out of the pyramid triangular system to the cubic square system of freedom in the desert. And again, Moses says to Pharaoh, let my people go so that they may circle me in the desert. The other 5 times, let my people go so that they may serve the Lord in the desert. But the first one is they should go around in circles. Now, Hajj is a pilgrim to Mecca. Hag is the Egyptian pronunciation. Hag in Hebrew means a holiday or going around in circles. And so the first meaning really meant, let my people go so that they may sacrifice to the Lord at the Kaaba in Mecca, which there was no Mecca at the time, which is the black stone. So if they get Jerusalem, their system wins. Now my contention through my book is, if we Judeo-Christians get Mecca and Medina, then we capture the flag, and it is the termination of Allah, who I say is Satan.
All right. So if this is the Jewish American dream to capture the flag and to occupy Mecca and Medina, that's why the man is showing you the relevance between the Arabian Spring and occupying Mecca and Medina. So, wow. So that, as I can see it, Iraq, Syria are the means, but Mecca and Medina is the goal. I used to believe this a long time ago, believe me, 30 years ago, that someday the Jews and the Shia will be working side by side, fighting side by side against the Muslims, even in Saudi Arabia, until they surround Mecca and Medina. But who's the leader will be? Oh, to the Shia, he's the Mahdi. To the Jews, he's the Messiah, expected Messiah. So he's the same leader for both. But who's going to be that leader? The Antichrist. You don't believe me? Wait and see. The Antichrist will be the leader. And the Prophet said that he's going to be coming with a lot of soldiers, occupying the whole peninsula. And he will be able to cleanse the whole region, the peninsula, for him. But there are 2 cities upon which he's not going to be able to occupy, and that is Mecca and Medina. See? The Prophet mentioned it. Let's continue. This man has a lot.
And we're going to get Mecca and Medina.
And we're going to get Mecca and Medina. So, the interview ended with this. We're going to get Mecca and Medina. Who's going to be with you? Oh, the Shia hates the Saudis. They hate them. They call them Wahhabis. They hate them. They go to America like this Taqi Madrasi. Oh, by the way, he was talking about he was talking about taqiyya. He was talking about taqiyya, and he said, in Islam, taqiyya is holy. That means lie. No, not to us. No. Please, don't say the Muslims have taqiyya. No, this is the Shia. Your friends who are serving you, cleansing the whole area for you, not us. Because the Shia say 90% of religion is based on taqiyya. Taqiyya means a holy lie. Holy lie, is lie holy? To them, yes. To say to you, I love you, but in his heart he's saying, I hate you. This is a holy, and you'll be rewarded. They say in their books, he who has no taqiyya, he has no religion, has no faith. 90% of religion is based on taqiyya. The one who does not exert taqiyya, that means he has no faith. These are the Shia. Hey Bob, not us. Sorry, Avi. It's not us. Are your servants who are working for you to let you have your dream in reality, and that is to return to Mecca. But will they be succeeding? In a way, yes. In a way, yeah. But remember this. To control Arabian countries or Muslim countries, it doesn't mean that you have overcome Islam. No. You won't be able to do anything against Islam. Islam will remain no matter what you do. Islam will remain. No one can change. No one can finish Islam. No. How many people? How many countries? Leaders upon leaders upon leaders. They wished to get rid of Islam, but they died before achieving this. That's my belief, and I'm pretty confident about that. Islam is the religion of God. Do whatever you want to do. Provoke. The weakness of the Muslims is because of their shortness, lack of obedience to God, lack of conveying the message of the Prophet ﷺ. They're living for themselves, as you see today. Ignorant people. The Prophet mentioned that there will be a time, which is the sign of the hereafter. Knowledge will be grabbed, will be raised up again. Trials and tribulations will be falling, will be spreading. Ignorance will be the factor of spreading these tribulations. Ignorance of people. But at the end, the Prophet promised that the rectitude caliphate will return as it started. At the end, it will return. And the Prophet Isa, who used to be a prophet, but his prophethood has terminated. He will returning because he was raised up. He didn't die yet. He will return to the life here. He'll be living 7 years. And you'll be even seeing friendship between beasts and aggressive animals. And the one prostration to the ground will be more valuable to the person at that day, at that time, more ever than money and treasures. Peace will be spreading. And Jesus will not be leading the prayer. Before the true Mahdi, the Mahdi will be backing off, taking a back step to enable Jesus, Isa, to lead the prayer. But Isa will be saying, no, some of you should be leaders over others. Such an honor that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to show, and Isa wants to show, that this nation has a great honor. Now it is the chosen people of God. They are the chosen people of God, not the Jews. They used to be, I believe, as a Muslim, the Jews used to be the chosen people of God. But chosen by what? Because of the race, color, nature? No. Because of the message they were in charge with, in which they left. So they're not anymore chosen people of God. This ummah had been chosen. And a great deal of people are encountering punishment because they're not doing the job. But I still believe that this may be better for them, an expiation of their sins. Because this life is a very short one. It's nothing, in fact. It's just like passing by a petrol station just to refill your car with gasoline and then carry on your trip. Where to? To the hereafter. God said in the Quran that the disbelievers will be swearing by Allah the day of judgment that how long we've been living in life, we swear by Allah that it was only a matter of hour. Oh, compared to the other life. This life is nothing. It's a life of test. It's a life of loss. It's a life of misery. sadness. But that day will be the greatest regretful day for those who did not take preparation, for those who did not repent to God, for those who did not follow that final messenger of Allah, the Prophet Muhammad. You want to return to Mecca? At least pray towards the direction of Mecca. You don't want? You don't deserve it. Worship God alone. Don't be killers of the Prophet and expecting God to grant you the land of Mecca. Don't deny the message of the Prophet Muhammad, in whom you find his name in your scriptures. Don't do that. You plot, you plan, and Allah too plans. You wait, and we too wait, and we will see. Peace be with you. Assalamu alaikum.